Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching this from. This is my 2024 Formula 1 season review. Obviously, the Formula 1 season, the youngest season ever in the F1 is now over. It's now over as we saw Max Verstappen be crowned 4-time world champion, winning the Drivers' Championship, despite Red Bull having their bad moments this season. But Verstappen still comes out on top in terms of Drivers' Championship. But we did see a new Constructors champion in McLaren. McLaren win the Constructors Championship for the first time in 26 years, since 1998. I mean, quite wild. Quite wild as well. Two worthy winners, two well-deserved winners, and Verstappen should have won the Drivers' Championship really, and McLaren should have won the Constructors as well. So they were probably the two expected. But saying that, start of the season. Well, I would say start of the season, McLaren weren't expected to win the Constructors. So, especially in my start of the season predictions, I predicted them way off McLaren. But I did change my mind during the season when the announcement of Adrian Newey had an effect on Red Bull. And that ultimately made McLaren favourites to win the Constructors' Championship. But in terms of Max Verstappen, there is an agenda. There is an agenda against Max Verstappen. I just don't know why. Yesterday in the Abu Dhabi 1-3 is probably one of the reasons why people don't like him, because doing the impossible move on Oscar Piastri down into the first corner when it wasn't his corner at all. And it ended off with both of them spinning and putting who's pressure on Lando Norris to win the Constructors himself for McLaren. And Lando Norris, to be fair to Lando Norris, he dealt with the pressure. He dealt with that pressure moment, which is a good sign if Lando Norris wants to win the Drivers' Championship next year. But let's speak more about Max Verstappen. Max Verstappen is... Three of Max Verstappen's titles have been won by not having the fastest car. I just don't know why he don't get the credit he deserves. Max Verstappen. This year, he didn't have the quickest car. McLaren were the quickest. Last year was the only dominant year for Max Verstappen and Red Bull, which was 2023. 2022 was supposed to be the year of Ferrari, who were the best per team for the radiations, and should have won it, in my opinion, Ferrari and Charles Leclerc. But constant mistakes allowed Red Bull to win it. And 2021, Mercedes should have won it, and should have won the Drivers as well. So I don't know why Max Verstappen don't get the credit he deserves. I really don't. Yes, he can work on a few things in terms of his attitude. Towards the FIA, calling them stupid idiots, which I don't think is appropriate behaviour from Verstappen, to call the FIA stupid idiots and all that. I don't think that's appropriate when he's been benefited quite a few times from the FIA. So it can work both ways. But Max Verstappen, honestly, I'll keep on saying it, he's got the ability. Max Verstappen's got the ability of Ayrton Senna, and he's got the mentality of Michael Schumacher. I think he is Senna and Schumacher combined, Max Verstappen. And look, the Verstappen haters won't like that, but I think, in my personal opinion, I think his achievements are already better than Lewis Hamilton's. Lewis Hamilton, yes, is a 7-time world champion, but most of Hamilton's achievements, he's needed a car. He's needed the dominant car at Mercedes. Verstappen has not needed the car at all. He's just won it on ability and mentality. I mean, look at the Brazil Grand Prix. Mental from Verstappen. Absolutely mental to start from 17th and finished third. And not just that, it wasn't even dry. It was pretty wet. It was pretty wet as well. I've not seen Hamilton do that. Yeah, I know Hamilton's won races from back of the grid to first, but he hasn't done it in the wet. And he's apparently the master of the wet. So yeah, I think Verstappen's achievements are better than Hamilton. And I think Alonso's achievements are better than Hamilton's as well. Because Fernando Alonso, he won the Drivers' title back to back in a shit Renault. Sorry for swearing, but let's be real. In a shit Renault. And against Michael Schumacher's Ferrari as well. And it's not me disrespecting Hamilton's achievements. He is a 7-time world champion, but most of his titles were won by having the most dominant car, in my opinion. The only times Hamilton has had it tough was 2021, he didn't win it. 2016, against Nico Rosberg, he didn't win it. And 2008, which I do give Hamilton credit for, because at the end of the day, he wasn't expected to win it. Massa should have won it, in my opinion. As much as I felt Massa was robbed in Singapore. So I'm just putting context into it, really, and where I am. But let's move on then. This is how the Constructors ended for the season. McLaren won it by 13 points over Ferrari. I mean, Ferrari, for me, McLaren deserved to win it. Let's be real. McLaren left it fine, didn't they? They did leave it a bit fine, didn't they, McLaren? I expected McLaren to get it sealed way before Abu Dhabi, in my opinion. But yeah, they took it fine, to be fair, McLaren. But well deserved, most consistent pairing throughout the whole season, Norris and Piastri. They had the most consistent pairing, and that's what wins you the Constructors, for me. Ferrari, I knew Ferrari were never going to win it. It's just the diff that divs on divin. Is Ferrari, like, they're a bit of a laughing stock at Ferrari. They always have hope every season, and they always fail every season. So, and I don't expect anything different this year from Ferrari. I think they'll fail again with that. With Leclerc and Hamilton's teammates, that's a recipe for disaster. Given Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton, who's a dead priority, is like, it's like only buying one ice cream for both of them to share. Let's be real. If you to ask me who should get priority at Ferrari, should be Hamilton. As much as I have just criticised his achievements here as Hamilton into context, he should get the priority because he's way better than Charles Leclerc. Way better. Charles Leclerc's done nothing. Charles Leclerc is a bridesmaid in F1. And Charles Leclerc has an ego of nothing. Let's be real. Well, Hamilton has an ego of being a world champion, obviously. And the reasons why Ferrari don't win championships is because of Charles Leclerc, for one, making mistakes and having trust team members and having absolute shite strategy people at Ferrari. That's why they don't win anything. So all these people saying we should still be proud of Ferrari. Why? They've done nothing. Done nothing this season. And once again, Ferrari have failed for me. They have. Because people be like, yeah, but you respected McLaren to win it. Yeah, but start the season, everyone always has Ferrari off saying, oh, this is done be their year. They're laughing stock. That's what they are. Ferrari and absolute laughing stock. Red Bull ended up finishing third. I think we all know why. I think the lot of issues that have been happening this season at Red Bull, which all started with the Christian Horner stuff, then the Adrian Newey even announcement in March. I think that's the coincidence. That's where the downfall started for Red Bull in Constructors, was after the Adrian Newey even announcement, in my opinion. You just knew after even after the Adrian Newey even announcement, you just knew something wasn't right, especially on track with Red Bull. As much as Verstappen was still winning races, his teammate wasn't doing the job at all. And Sergio Perez is expected to leave and become ambassador, which makes no sense at all. When Perez has probably tossed Red Bull this season, but yet he's going to become an ambassador in the world, which is mental. So confusing. Ian Lawson is expected to replace Sergio Perez. It's done by Sonoda and Isaac Hadger at Freeze Task at Part B. And which I did say quite a few months ago now. And whoever Red Bull get in to replace Perez, whoever it is, it's not even a better replacement, in my opinion. I don't think it is a better replacement, whoever they get in to replace Perez. And I think that just shows Red Bull, I think Red Bull will accept that they're not going to challenge for both titles next year, whoever they get in to replace Sergio Perez. So, yeah, Red Bull will probably expect it to finish third for the rest of the season. I think they expected that for the rest of the season. Start of the season, it's a failure for Red Bull because I would expect to retain it, but with how the season's done, they weren't really expected to win it, let's be real. Which was probably from halfway from the season, wasn't it? So yeah, for me, I think Red Bull are behind McLaren, Ferrari, and Mercedes going into next year. I think they'll be behind them three going into next year. And as much as Max Verstappen is so good, I still don't think Max Verstappen will win the drivers next year, as much as he is that good. If he does, he needs to get even more credit, Max Verstappen. He really does. And the thing is, Verstappen, I'll keep on saying it, three of Max Verstappen's title wins has been without the quickest start. Let's be real now. So, but Mercedes finishing fourth, I think that was expected. During the season, they will be the fourth best team on the grid. Hit hot and cold Mercedes throughout the whole season. They will get extra wind tunnel for next year. For finishing in fourth. They will have a budget as well to spend on the car now. Now Lewis Hamilton's done. I think that should be the rightful use for Mercedes, especially after the way Lewis Hamilton's treated them this year. Lewis Hamilton has been disrespectful to his team, especially when Mercedes have given Lewis Hamilton the car to win most of his titles quite easily. So I think Lewis Hamilton needs to humble himself and start being more respectful to his team and not worry about his bank account all the time. That's why Hamilton's gone to Ferrari. He's gone to Ferrari for a retirement pension because he ain't doing anything. Let's be real. Yeah, that will come back to bite me. That may come back to bite me, but yeah, Hamilton's doing nothing at Ferrari. Let's be real. Yeah, he'll win races. So what? I think you would rather win titles than win races, in my opinion. So yeah, albeit you do need to win. You do need to win races to win titles, but for me, I just don't think Hamilton will do anything at Ferrari. And after it's done being held for coincidence now, Mercedes will probably end up doing well now. Now Hamilton's done. Obviously, they got Timmy Antonelli in as a replacement, who's been seen as one of the next big things in F1. Yes, see how good Timmy Antonelli is for the next 2 years at Mercedes, because he will need to be given at least 2 years, in my opinion. And Mercedes are going to have the budget now to develop the car as well. So I think Mercedes will definitely be top 3 at least for next season under Russell and Antonelli. Aston Martin, just Aston Martin, and I think that was expected. They'll finish 5th at the start of the season. Kind of fell off from most of the season. After the Aston Martin fell out of the top 10. Always get knocked down qualifying 1, qualifying 2. Be interesting to see Aston Martin under Adrian Newey next year and upcoming years to come as well. But Aston Martin don't need a lot more than this Adrian Newey for me. I love Fernando Alonso. I do love him, but I think Fernando Alonso is far too old, and Jan Stroll. And I don't think Jan Stroll is done enough for where Aston Martin want to be, in my opinion. So I think we're going to see a whole new driver lineup from 2026 onwards. Wouldn't shock me if it's Max Verstappen and Yuki Tsunoda at Aston Martin. Obviously with the Honda engine in 2026 for Aston Martin, Tsunoda from Japan, Honda from Japan. It all works out. Max Verstappen, I don't think Max Verstappen will be staying at Red Bull any longer. I think he'll have 1 more year at Red Bull. Because I think there will be an absolute drop off from Red Bull. I think Red Bull are dropping away now, in my opinion, in terms of chancing for titles. So I think Verstappen will have 1 more year, and I can see Adrian Newey going after Max Verstappen to replace Fernando Alonso at Aston Martin, especially for 2026 as well. But we'll wait and see. On that one. But yeah, Aston Martin doesn't need a lot more than just Adrian Newey. They don't need new team members, new team strategists, and they don't need a new lineup as well. Because I don't think Alonso, I just think Alonso is far too old, and Jan Stroll is not done enough for where Aston Martin wants to be. Alpine, good season in the end for Alpine, to be fair. After the way it started, Alpine started off as probably the worst team on the grid at the start of the season. And then Alpine just continued to develop the car throughout the season and ended the season strongly, especially per Dadsey as well, who did end the season strongly. They had a double podium in Brazil with Ocon and Dadsey. And yeah, it's been a very good season in the end for Alpine. Very good season in the end. Yeah, I'll probably say successful. I'll probably say it's been a successful season in the end for Alpine. After it started off awfully and badly, to finishing 6th on the final race of the season. Haas were the surprising one for me. For me, Haas Haas were the surprising ones, surprising teams this season, for the way they performed throughout the whole season. It looks like Dunter Steiner might have been the problem at Haas, because since that, what a coincidence, Steiner left Haas and they end up progressing to finish 7th and battle Alpine for 6th on the final race of the season. So, again, successful season for Haas as well. Probably overachieved, in my opinion, Haas. Because I expected Haas to be battling Sauber to be the worst team on the grid. So, a very good season for Haas. Hulkenberg and Magnussen will both be even. Hulkenberg will go to Sauber, and Ted Magnussen will be even F1 completely. Feast Haas FRB, hit and miss. A hit and miss season for them. They obviously started off with Tsunoda and Daniel Ricciardo. Did they start off with Tsunoda and Ricciardo? Yeah, they did, didn't they? Yeah. Feast Haas FRB did start off with Tsunoda and Ricciardo, which were hit and miss. And Liam Lawson ended up coming in for Daniel Ricciardo in Texas, which ended up being Tsunoda and Lawson for the rest of the season. And then hit and miss, hot and cold for his Haas FRB throughout the whole season. But I think that's the team they are. They are hot and cold, to be honest with you, in terms of performances and results. Williams in 9th. I've got a conspiracy with Williams and Aston Martin. I've got a conspiracy with Aston Martin and Williams. I think both of them are preparing for 2026 radiations. I think Aston Martin and Williams were preparing for 2026 radiations for 2026, in my opinion. Because I expected better from Williams, slightly better. Suffered a lot of car damages throughout the whole season, didn't they? Especially with Jordan Sargent as well, which did probably have an effect on Williams not progressing. As most Williams have progressed over the years under James Vowles, since James Vowles came in. But I think Aston Martin and Williams will still be ones to watch in the 2026 radiations for me. And Williams, I expect Williams to be a lot more better next year with their lineup of Alex Albon and Carlos Sainz, which is quite a strange lineup, isn't it? Because no disrespect to Williams are a historic team, but we all expected Carlos Sainz to join one of the top teams, whether it's Red Bull or Mercedes, and didn't go in for him. Williams went in for him and snatched him, and I think that's Williams' doing and the top team's miss, in my opinion. And I think Williams next year will be expected to be in that top 6, in my opinion, or the Constructors Championship, maybe in 5th. Maybe expected to be the 5th best team. And this might be crazy, even maybe the 4th best team next year, because we just don't know what Red Bull done behind. Without anything new, because I think it will be that massive drop off from Red Bull. Where I don't think Red Bull will be chancing. I actually think Red Bull will become a bit of Aston Martin and Williams battling for that 4th, 5th, and 6th, in my opinion. That's what I really do think. And I think Williams are going to be up there now, battling for 4th, 5th, and 6th in the upcoming years, in my opinion, because I think James Vowles, you may not have seen it just yet, but he is still progressing that team. And he was a coupe from Mercedes as well. And they got quite an incredible lineup of Albon and Carlos Sainz as well. So I'm really looking forward to see how Williams do in the next upcoming years. And Sauber finished off as the worst team on the grid, and they were the worst team on the grid, but they did still finish in the points. Joe Guan Yu was the only one to score points in the Sauber. Bottas was the only current driver not to score points, along with Jack Doohan, even though Jack Doohan only came in for the Abu Dhabi 1-3. But this is how the drivers ended. Verstappen deserved to win it, didn't he? Verstappen won it early in the season, didn't he? Let's be real. Ended up winning it early in the season. Lando Norris, it would have been quite embarrassing for Lando Norris if he didn't finish ahead of Charles Leclerc. There was an iffy title race on, wasn't it? There was an iffy title race when Norris was closing that gap on Verstappen. Then Verstappen, it was no so assumed when Verstappen won Brazil, which was ultimately the championship decider for me when Verstappen won in Brazil. And it was like a bat slap to Lando Norris to say, yeah, that's probably it. Charles Leclerc has had a Charles Leclerc season for me. This is expected to challenge for the title, but he didn't challenge for the title. Won a few races in and there. But for me, still not a good season from Charles Leclerc, who everyone gives hype, saying what a talent he is, but yeah, he's done nothing in F1. But yeah, a good season in the Drivers' Championship for McLaren, second and fourth. Again, far from what I expected at the start of the season. Because I thought start of the season, I thought McLaren would just be too early for McLaren to challenge for the titles. But they proved me wrong, and McLaren, they are now the best team on the grid. And they're on test on stopping this year as well, McLaren. This is all about who gets priority between Norris and Piastri in terms of the Drivers' Championship for next year, in my opinion. Because Mark Webber, who is also Piastri's manager, will be wanting Piastri to get priority next year. When he's got a talent on his hands in Oscar Piastri, who's very good driver ability-wise as well, he'll want Piastri to get priority. But I don't think Piastri will get priority at McLaren. I think the McLaren golden boy is Lando Norris, big like Ferrari with Charles Leclerc. So I think Lando Norris will get all the priority next year at McLaren. And I would expect Lando Norris to win the Drivers' Championship with Oscar Piastri in second. That's what I expect next year. Because I think McLaren, they're going to be dominant next year. They're going to run away with the titles for me next year. I would expect that. Because McLaren is not at its full complete package yet. This season, McLaren were not the full complete package. It was only, after 18 years announcement, McLaren were on Red Bull's tails and overtook Red Bull for the rest of the season. So McLaren are only get even better with their car as well, developing the car. So I think they'll run away with it next year, McLaren. I would expect them to run away with it. Carlos Sainz, decent season for him. Decent season in fifth. George was not a good. I wouldn't say it's a good season for Mercedes, but it's where Mercedes were expected to be in the constructors and the drivers. So yeah, can't say much about them. George Russell got a couple of wins, hasn't he? Unlucky not to get the Belgian Grand Prix win, but he did break the rules with his car. Well, not his fault. I think it's his team fault for the weighing of the car. So George Russell, it's interesting with Mercedes. I think Mercedes can challenge next year with the extra wind tunnel, and now they don't have a budget. Now US Hamilton's done. George Russell can win races, can't he? He can win races, but just needs to work on a few of his weaknesses, George Russell. But I think Russell's definitely a contender for the title. It's just all about, do Mercedes have the car to challenge McLaren for next year? That's what it's going to be all about. Perez in 8th, a terrible season for Sergio Perez. That is terrible for Perez. But I think that's the new norm now for Red Bull. I think that'll be the new norm for the next upcoming years, where the number 2 driver will either finish 8th, 9th, or 10th, in my opinion. So yeah, terrible season for Perez, and he'll end up even Red Bull. You would expect. you would expect. Fernando Alonso in 9th again. Bit of a meh season for Fernando Alonso. He got most of his points early on in the season, didn't he? To be fair. But he did get points in the final race in Abu Dhabi yesterday. But per Dacier in 10th, if Max Verstappen's not try for, if I don't give Max Verstappen try for the season, for me, per Dacier is try for the season for me, becomes the first F1 driver with 0 in cars downsides. So per Dacier has not cost his team any downsides at all. He's done the season. Per Dacier's done the season without getting a DNF as well. So a wonderful drive from Per Dacier this season in the Alpine. And I've always liked Per Dacier. I've always liked him. I always thought he was a good driver. Per Dacier, good consistent driver. And if Max Verstappen wasn't driver this season, I would do it to Per Dacier in the Alpine, becoming the first driver with Seymour towards downsides, costing his team nothing in terms of team downsides. So it's probably not a shock why Per Dacier finished in the top 10 in the end, because he didn't have any downsides to his car. Hulkenberg in the 11th. I thought it'd be a lot lower for both drivers, to be fair. Tsunoda, hit and miss, hot and cold, Yuki Tsunoda in 12th. I think Yuki Tsunoda for me is the reason why I don't think Tsunoda deserves the Red Bull drive is that he'll just be too toxic for the team. He won't listen to team orders, Tsunoda. He won't listen to team orders. He'll end up fighting Max Verstappen as well. He'll end up fighting his teammates. And I think he's just a car crash, to be honest with you, Tsunoda. Bit like Lance Stroll. I think Lance Stroll is a recipe for disaster now in F1. And I don't think Lance Stroll is done enough for where Aston Martin wants to be, like I said earlier, in the long term. But Lance Stroll, for me, just seems to have the safest seat in F1 because of his dad is in charge of the team. Alex Albon in 16th. For me, Alex Albon, started off well, but again, hit hot and cold for Alex Albon and ended up being... I think it ended up being a little bit of a disappointment season for Alex Albon. It could have been better. Could have been better for him. He could have had an extra 3 more points. But to be fair, Williams did have car downsides, thanks to Jordan Sargent. Ricciardo in 17th. Obviously, we know about Ricciardo. His ship has sailed in F1. His ship did sail in F1, didn't he? His ship did sail in F1 for Daniel Ricciardo. We won't see Ricciardo back in F1 ever again, I don't think. But he's been a good driver in F1. Been a good consistent driver, Ricciardo, in F1. It's just in the end was near when he joined RB, etc., etc. Ollie Berman, obviously getting the points temporary for Haas and Ferrari. We will see him in the Haas next year. I'm looking forward to that partnership. next year, Ocon and Berman. I think Esteban Ocon's quite a good driver, to be fair. Ocon can cause controversy with his teammates, though, in terms of fighting his own teammates. But apart from that, Ocon's a good, solid driver. Ollie Berman does talent, and we saw what Ollie Berman can do in F1 on a temporary basis. Be interesting to see if he can do it next year permanently in F1. But I'm looking forward to that lineup of Ocon and Berman. I think that's a good, solid lineup for Haas. And I think Haas may maintain their 7th place in Constructors with that lineup. I won't be shocked by that. Toro Pinto started well, didn't it, for Toro Pinto on a temporary basis. Who came in on a temporary basis. Started well for him, but again, just hard damages for Toro Pinto. Just hard damages for him, and I don't really see him back in F1. Well, he won't be back in F1 next year. He'll be back in F1 in. Could be back in 2026 potentially. We'll wait and see. And not dies. Be right back. I'm back now, guys. I'm back. bid up to the Fox on, fucking well. Verstappen doing that to Piastri yesterday with mental. Yeah, no, Max Verstappen's got nothing to play for. Max Verstappen's got nothing to play for, but he decides, I'll get myself involved in Constructors battle. Perez has to be away from Red Bull for a season for him. Well, Sergio Perez is going to be ambassador for Red Bull next year, so he will be away from F1, but he will be having an ambassador role, which is confusing when he's tossed his team. When he's tossed his team in the Constructors battle for me. Bid up to Percy, hoping well, mate. But yeah, where was that? Choke on you. Fucking useless, in my opinion. I just don't know how Choke on you's in F1. How's he in F1? He's in F1 because of his sponsorship money from China. That's it. And that's bad news because Zhou Fan Yu is going to be joining F1 in 2026 with the U F1 team and not Andretti, Taidat F1, which is going to be the U team joining F1 in 2026. Joe Kwan-Yu's manager, Joe Kwan-Yu's manager is in charge of the UF1 team as well. So he's done being F1 for 2026, Joe Kwan-Yu, which for me, it should be judged on your driving ability, not how much money you got, how much sponsors you got, and not who's your father in F1. So F1 can be a joke sometimes with the drivers there now and then. It can be a joke, but money talks. So we will be seeing Joe Kwan-Yu back in 2026 with the UF1 team. Jim Norton, I don't know what to make of Jim Norton at Red Bull for next year. I don't know what to make of that. I just don't think Jim Norton, I don't think that anyone was good enough at Red Bull as a better replacement than Perez. But Perez does need replacement. Perez doesn't need to be replaced. I just think Tsunoda was a hard watch. I think Jim Norton, still early for Jim Norton to go to Red Bull for me. But it's like I said earlier, maybe Red Bull are accepting that they're not going to be the team that they once were. The dominant team that they once were. Maybe Red Bull. Maybe Red Bull expect to be 4th, 5th, 6th in Constructors in the next upcoming years. Maybe that's what they're accepting. Maybe they don't accept bumps in the road. And Verstappen, he's only going to be at Red Bull for 1 more year. And he's off to Aston Martin, I'm telling you. He's either off to Aston Martin or he'll leave F1 permanently. Just because of the agenda against Max Verstappen. And there is an agenda against Max Verstappen, yes, we will. You can criticise him, but you can't criticise him at the same time with Max Verstappen, because I do respect his achievements, Max Verstappen, but just sometimes he doesn't need to make that move on Piastri in Abu Dhabi, for example. He doesn't need to make that move. I understand it's waiting, I understand, but it wasn't his corner, let's be real. It's just craziness. Valtteri Bottas, we won't see him in F1. I don't think we'll ever see him in F1, unfortunately. Just went to the one team, didn't he? Just went to the one team 3 years ago. If he went to a better team, I think Bottas would have been okay and still in F1. So I think Bottas will go to wide driving. I think he'll go to wide driving, a bit like Kimi Raikkonen did in a few years. So that's where I think Bottas will go. But he's been a dud number 2 driver for Lewis Hamilton at Mercedes. Been a dud driver for Williams as well, Valtteri Bottas. And this hasn't worked out at Sauber, to be honest with you. And Sauber don't be called Audi in 2026, so they're probably going to have the same partnership as well in Hulkenberg and Bortoletto if it all goes well in 2025. Jordan Sargent deserves to leave F1. Jordan Sargent deserves to leave F1. He would be top of the Destructors Championship, as you call it, for absolutely destroying his car multiple times in qualifying and the race. So he deserves to leave F1 when he did. And Jack Doohan, who will be joining Alpine next year with Per Dacier. I think there's a drop off. It is a massive drop off from Esteban Ocon to Jack Doohan, massive drop off. So I think Alpine are going to suffer a bit in terms of performances. I think Per Dacier's going to do all the work next year at Alpine. But we need to wait and see how Jack Doohan does, because he's okay. He's an okay driver, but I think Alpine could have done better. But the thing is, you can't replace Jack Doohan once you signed him, because that was absolutely ridiculous that when Alpine were thinking of on replacing Jack Doohan after they just signed him for 2025. I thought that was absolutely ridiculous, because you can't just sign a driver for 2025 and then replace them because another driver's came on a temporary basis at another team. This is ridiculous in my opinion. So yeah, I'm glad Alpine have kept Jack Doohan for next year, as they should be doing, because he signed him in the first place. But I think they will suffer a drop in performances just because of the lineup. I just don't know if Jack Doohan's done enough and better than Esteban Ocon. Well, he isn't. He isn't better than Ocon. Ocon was a very good, solid driver. And I don't understand Alpine. Why are they not getting Bottas, for example? See, this is why sometimes teams need to wait to the end of the season, because you just never know who will become available. I think Bottas is a better option than Jack Doohan, but F1 these days, they want to give their youth a chance, don't they? Like Berman, Lawson, Doohan, Antonelli, they're all getting chance now in F1, which is good to see. But I think the best young driver to not get a chance in F1 is probably Kyle Mayotte, ain't it? Kyle Mayotte. Where the hell has he done over the years? So, but yeah, in terms of my season predictions, these were my season predictions from the start of the season. And you can actually see my start of season predictions if you go all the way back to my videos, live streams back in February, March time. So these were our season predictions, an absolute nightmare in terms of my season predictions. I don't Max Verstappen right. I don't Max Verstappen to win the Drivers' Championship, and I got Fernando Alonso spot on. But I didn't get. See, I was short on a few of them. Like Charles Leclerc, I was only one off Charles Leclerc. I was way off with Lando Norris. I was 3 off with Lando Norris. I was 1 off with Carlos Sainz, 1 off with George Russell. Yeah, Daniel Ricciardo was a bad prediction, wasn't it? Let's be real. I was only 2 off with Ocon. Ocon still finished mid-table, so I was kind of right on that. I was 1 off with Lance Stroll. And yeah, the rest of my predictions, the rest of my trial chance predictions were a bit of a nightmare, weren't they? Also, Piastri, another one. That's a nightmare prediction for me. In terms of Constructors, again, I didn't really do well in Constructors chance prediction either. But I think everyone expected Red Bull to win at the start of the season, so I think everyone probably got that one, to be fair. McLaren, who ended up Constructors champions, I actually put them in 4th. I just thought it would be too early for McLaren this year. I thought it'd be too early, but they've massively progressed, haven't they, McLaren? I wasn't that far off with Ferrari. Ferrari is just Ferrari at the end of the day. Mercedes, I thought Mercedes would be the second best team, but yeah, they ended up 4th. I was spot on with Aston Martin and Alpine. I was spot on with them two. Got them two absolutely spot on. First Haas RB, I was 1 off with them. I was 1 off with Williams. I was 1 off with Sauber. But yeah, Haas was a bad prediction for me, wasn't it? That was a bad prediction. Because I thought Haas would be the worst team done into this season, but they absolutely proved me wrong. And maybe Gunther Steiner was the one holding them back. I think it has to be, doesn't it? It has to be. But the odds that came out for next year, these are only the Drivers' Championship odds that came out so far. for next year. So these are next year's Drivers' Championship odds. Lando Norris is favourite, Max Verstappen second favourite, Charles Leclerc third, Piastri fourth, Hamilton fifth, Russell sixth, Antonelli seventh, Lawson and Tsunoda 66 to 1s, Carlos Sainz in 150 to 1s, along with Alonso and Dacier, Albon and Ocon in the 300s to 1s, along with Berman, Jack Doohan, Hulkenberg in 500 to 1s, and if you want to be ambitious and go for Dario Bortoleto or Lance Stroll, they're 1000 to 1s. In terms of them odds, have the book made historic whites so far this early on? Nope. No, in my opinion. I can understand the top four, but I just don't. As much as Max Verstappen is so good, I can't see Max Verstappen chancing for the title. We can't. Unless Red Bull have finally got the car then. Finally got the cars, and maybe they will chance it then. It's too early to predict. Ferrari are doing nothing. Ferrari will do nothing. I think Ferrari don't be so overhyped going into 2025. Oh, the partnership of Leclerc and Hamilton and all that. Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton, it's just going to be a morning show next year. It's going to be a morning show from both of them. And for me, as I said earlier, I think McLaren are running away with it next year. It's just all about who will win the drivers between the teammates. Lando Norris or Oscar Piastri. I think Norris isn't the priority, so I would expect Norris to win it next year. And I think Norris should be expected to win it next year. He's put the press on himself now, especially in this little team radio at the end saying next year will be my year. So there we go, Lando. The press is on you now. The press is on you to win it. And he shouldn't have said that, you know. Lando Norris shouldn't have said that. And now he's put huge pressure on himself to win it next year. While Mark Webber, Oscar Piastri's manager, he will want Oscar to have priority. So be interested to see how that works out in terms of priority. But McLaren are going to run away with the Constructors this year. I don't think anyone's going to get close to them at all. Obviously, Ferrari will in terms of speed. In terms of speed and pace, but Ferrari is not consistent enough. Ferrari turn up when it don't matter. The odds on Russell and Antonelli are quite interesting because they're quite high. They're quite low odds, aren't they? So it's a hard one with Mercedes. They could be preparing for 2026 radiations, but they don't have extra wind tunnel for next year. Mercedes, they will have extra wind tunnel. They don't have the budget now. Now Lewis Hamilton's done. They don't have to worry about paying for Lewis Hamilton's bank account. And they can use some of that budget to prepare for the car as well. And we need to see how good Kimi Antonelli is. Let's see if he is one of these big things as well. I think both Williams drivers. I expect both Williams drivers to be in the top 10 next year of the Drivers' Championship. I'm not sure about Tsunoda in the top 10, but he'll be around mid-table probably. Liam Lawson, I think Liam Lawson's going to have a Sergio Perez season from this season where he'll be nowhere near the top 7 of the Drivers' Championship, in my opinion. Fernando Alonso, maybe will probably get in the top 10, but how long has he done yet in F1? That's the thing. I just don't think he's stopped on yet, Fernando. Per Daci's consistent. He'll be top 10 mid-table in the Drivers' Championship next year, I reckon. Ocon will be up there as well in the Hearts. So I think Ocon and Berman will do well together in the Hearts. Sauber, apparently the signs aren't promising for Sauber, so apparently Sauber will still be down there next year with Hulkenberg and Bortoleto. So yeah, I think Hulkenberg and David Bortoleto just need to get the best out of the car for next year. That's all it is for them. Jack Doohan, I don't know how he's going to do at Alpine. He's either going to be good, he's either going to be alright, or he's going to be bad. And he gets repairs halfway through. Jan Stroll, I don't know how he's still in F1, Jan Stroll. I don't know, with Jan Stroll, I still think he's still done enough to try for F1, but he's not done enough to try for where Aston Martin want to be in the long term. So I think Aston Martin is just going to have another. I think Aston Martin just going to have the same season as last year, but then you expect them to be better because of Adrian Newey. Going to be working on the car, isn't he? So we'll wait and see. And that is it from my season review. Let's go back to that one. And that is it for my F1 2024 season review. So I don't know when I'll next see you in terms of the F1. I think I'll next see, in terms of the next F1 video or F1 stream, it will probably be the new car reviews that are coming out probably in February time. But if there's any like crazy transfer news, like official transfer news, so I might do, my next video might be who joins Red Bull. Like whoever joins Red Bull, I'll do a video on that, and who joins Verstappen RB. But even though I've already spoke about it, I think we all know who's going to join Red Bull and Verstappen RB. So I don't know when my next video and the iTunes will be on F1. I think you might be waiting a few months, to be fair, because we will return. F1 will return in March. It's the start of March in Australia for the season opener. Obviously, I might do a few pre-season tests and muscle-ons as well. Even though I have done them already, I just thought I'd done them before the 2024 season, and it was quite boring. Yes, be real. So I may do pre-season tests and muscle-ons. Who knows? But we'll wait and see on that. And yeah, and we'll leave it there. Massive appreciation to everyone that tuned in. Don't subscribe to each other's channels down below in the comments. And yeah, another Formula 1 season ends where McLaren win the first Constructors Championship for the first time since 1998 for a long 26 years, while Max Verstappen, who had a few problems during the season with his car, looked like it was going to be, he looked like he could be tapped at the top of the time championship, but then Verstappen puts in a masterclass in Brazil to seal his fourth world championship, his fourth time championship, to go 4 in a row. Can anyone stop Verstappen next year? And will it be one-way traffic for McLaren next year in the Constructors Championship? Take care, stay safe, so yeah, and feel free to leave your thoughts down below if it wasn't on paper, as Max Verstappen wins the 2024 Drivers' Championship and McLaren are 2024 Constructors Champions. And I don't know when I'll see you next in terms of the next F1 video. So maybe it might be a few months. So if it is, see you then.